with my team. The internet touches every part of our lives. We use it to shop, to learn, to play, to manage our finances, and a lot more. Yet the very foundation of this technology, which we have all become so dependent on, is in jeopardy. It suffers from issues with privacy, security, and scalability. So you probably almost likely have heard blockchain offers solutions to these problems. It can cut out costly intermediaries and create a human-powered, interconnected network. Yet, as we have seen, a lot of projects out there have proved to be too costly, too complex, unscalable. The gap between the theoretical world and the real world often exists for many projects. Proxima X intends to solve these problems by combining blockchain together with a distributed and decentralized database, storage, and streaming. We are opening the use of blockchain technology and in turn helping solve the internet's problems. So, as we can see here, the internet has evolved dramatically over the last 5 decades. In 1969, companies first started sending messages to each other. Then in the 1980s, we had networking. 1990s, .com. And 2000 with the utility of .com, such as Facebook and Google. It is here at the later stages of the internet's revolution that we start to see the problems that plague it. For security, governments are struggling with data security. There is data leaks on a mass scale. Privacy. The tech giants that control access to the internet want to monetize our data. And for scalability, corporations are struggling with the cost of ever-increasing scale of use. Then it's at the later stages of that timeline that you can see that this is the decade of the blockchain technology, probably extending onwards to 2020s and 2030s. And it is here that we start to find solutions to these problems. The second slide. Yeah. So we can say that this is the decade of the blockchain technology, and it's here that we start to find solutions to these problems. So for security, a distributed network offers no lightning rod for attack because its surface area is ever increasing in scale. The checks every transaction and discards the faulty transactions. For privacy, decentralization takes away control from centralized organizations and gives it back to its users. And for scalability, decentralization takes away control from the tech giants and gives it back to its users. So this has the effect of reducing costs, improving internet speed, and removing barriers to market access, and in turn help economic growth. So how has blockchain evolved to be in a better position to solve these problems? In 2009, we started with version 1.0. Bitcoin and other alternative digital currencies are primarily concerned with value. They are peer-to-peer electronic cash systems. They work independent from a central bank. In 2013, smart contracts envisioned value transfer beyond currency through self-executing code. So you can think of smart contracts like a vending machine. When you make payment and you select your item, the item will always be released. In 2014, we had NEM. NEM simplified blockchain. It has inbuilt features that require zero programming. But all of these earlier versions have not solved the cost and scalability conundrum when it comes to data. Blockchain alone can hold very limited data. It's very expensive to put your data on the blockchain. It will bloat and it will not work. Proxima X solves this by putting together blockchain with a distributed and decentralized database, streaming, and storage. You're opening up the use of blockchain technology for data transactions, and in turn, helping users store and manage their data with more privacy, more security, and more scale app you want. Because it has every component you need to build your solution. We are making it simple. So simple that when you put your app on top, you don't have to understand how the technology works, how blockchain works, unless you want to, of course. So we have the blockchain layer, a distributed ledger of records. Here we have taken NEM's second version of their blockchain. It's open source, we've taken it and we've further adapted it and changed it for our platform. So here you can have all the features, multi-sig, batch transaction, and you can create your own cryptocurrency for your app. You have the storage layer. Here your app can store videos, music, files, any files of any type. It uses IPFS, a bit like BitTorrent. We have the database layer. Here your app that sits on top, you can store all the data in the fields into the database layer. And then you have the streaming layer, where your app can have live streaming of movies, telephone calls, chat, and live video conferencing. And then all these layers are managed by the consensus protocol. It ensures the integrity of the whole network. And this acts to incentivize users. Everyone here has spare storage on their computer or spare bandwidth. The consensus protocol will incentivize you to add that to the network and in turn growing the network in scale. So we have multiple nodes, storage nodes, streaming nodes, database nodes. They all act to check on each other. The whole purpose of blockchain and all the nodes is not to trust each other. So that when a data transaction goes into the network, it is truly correct. And the batch of data is then cast into stone, into a block. Right? And that is all chained together. If the chain is broken, then the network will no longer work. So here we're chaining together storage events, data events, streaming events. So what can you build on Proxima X? It's really only limited by your imagination. You can have any sort of app use our platform. You can have a business continuity app to make sure you can store and back up all the data for your apps. A hospital could build an app to securely store and manage their medical records. A startup could build a Netflix type app on our public platform to stream videos live. Or a government could have a workforce and collaboration and messaging app to securely store government data. And here are some of the apps that we have built on Proxima X. We have the KYC app, that was on the other slide, which is ready as of last month. So if anyone here needs for KYC, we can provide that. We have a Dropbox type app that we have built on the platform, and it's fully functioning. An Office Suite app that's in testing stage. A form builder app, and a KeyPass app to manage your passwords. And here are some of the projects that are building their solutions on our platform. Thank you.